Welcome everyone to a brand new Minecraft Marketplace add-on review. Today in this video, we are going to be checking out the Tinkers Construct Addon by FTB. This add-on will cost you 990 Minecraft coins. That's £4.99. It's roughly $6. This is a very new add-on, and so far it has a 4.5 star rating out of 5, 72 rating so far. 78% have given it a 5-star. From my understanding, the same team that created the Minecraft Java Tinkers Construct have now ported this to Minecraft Bedrock Edition. That being the Feed the Beast official team. And trust me, this add-on is going to keep you busy. Welcome to Tinkers Construct, but for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This is by far the most technical add-on we have been given on the Minecraft Marketplace so far. And I'm going to do my very best to teach you how it works. So let's start with the basics behind this add-on. When you join a world, new or pre-existing, you'll be given this guidebook. This is a very progression-based add-on, which I really like. If you're a survival player and you're looking for a new experience, you're going to absolutely love this. So we're going to start off with the very basics. Then it gets a little bit more advanced. Then it gets even more advanced. And then we end with some fun stuff. You will only start with this guidebook, and as you progress, you'll start to unlock some more. There are two ways you can use this guidebook. Just tap on it, or you can crouch on this, and it will open up like this. Personally, for me, I prefer to do it this way. You can right tap in order to go to the next page, or you can crouch to go back to the previous ones. Remember, this is an official port from Minecraft Java to Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, there is a lot of reading behind this. And if you want to understand this, you're going to have to take a little bit of time to read this information. I'm not going to read it all until we get to specific parts, but this will teach you the very basics. So we need to start off by making ourselves a specific item. And that item is going to be the blank pattern. In order to do this, you are going to need 2 planks and you are going to need 2 sticks in this formation inside of the crafting table, like this and like this. I think these are shapeless as well, which is a pretty cool thing. You'll be given 3 of these at a time. Next, we are going to make ourselves a brand new workstation. In order to do this, you are going to need 1 oak plank, and you're going to need 1 of these, which is a blank pattern. Inside of the crafting table, this goes here, and the outcome is going to be this. Now things start to get a little bit more exciting. As the guide mentions, you are now ready to forge your own path. Number 1, grab yourself a blank pattern. Number 2, open the stencil table. Use the in-game crafting guide to find the desired tool pattern you are looking for. The best way to experience this is going to be in survival. This is your stencil table. When we tap on this, you can see we now have different designs we are able to make. And these become a lot more advanced as time goes by. So I'm going to start off by making myself the axe pattern. So you can do 1 of these at a time. We'll do an axe. And for the sake of today's video, we'll also do something new, which is going to be a cleaver pattern. But you can see here, this one requires 3. So different ones might require different amounts. So I now have enough. We can make ourselves the cleaver. I've got 2 spare. You cannot find these patterns inside of here. So if I was to start typing in pattern, you can only get the blank one. So yes, you are going to need a different workstation. Time for another workstation. We're going to be making ourselves a parts builder. You are going to need a log and you're going to need a blank pattern. Now, the cool thing about this is, though, you can actually use different kinds of logs and it'll give you different kinds of designs. So we'll do it with the oak one to start off with. You can do it with spruce. You can do it with cherry. You can do it with acacia, jungle, you name it. They all do the same thing. They're just going to be different designs, which I kind of like. Just like before, open this up. Tap on this. In survival, you're going to see the designated designs. Now, these are really important, and as time goes by, they start to become a lot more advanced. It explains everything you need to know, and as we go along, the abilities and the traits are actually going to change. However, you cannot make any of these unless you have the stencils themselves. So I recommend making a whole bunch of these before you start using this. Now you'll notice that different things require different materials. And the base materials are going to be cobblestone, planks, string, and bone. And you notice when we go back inside of here, we now have access to more things. So I can make myself a bone axe. For example, I can make myself a stone cleaver, because we did have the stencils for these. If we grab the other stencils that we've managed to collect, you'll notice more recipes are going to be available. Now, this one being the string binding is really important. This kind of connects one part of a weapon to another. So I was making a whole bunch of these before. Also, the blades are going to be useful. Just mess around with them because each one of these do have special abilities. So we'll just craft a couple of them. Now it's time to make ourselves a Tinker's Station. And this is where you can start checking out the brand new weapons that are available. You are going to need a crafting table, a log. It can be any kind, just like before, and also a blank pattern. So let's get this made. We're just going to use the one that they have recommended. So this goes on the bottom, this goes in the middle, and this goes on the top. And once you have this, open this up, and you're going to see everything that is now possible. And these all come with special attributes. Trust me, you'll be here for a very long time. Just as a warning, guys, try not to get too overwhelmed with the likes of the Ardite and the new weapons you're able to make to start off with, because as we do progress through this add-on, it starts to make sense. So let's use the very basics, for example. We have ourselves a wooden tool handle, we have ourselves string binding, and we have ourselves a stone axe head. Inside of here, if we tap this, it's now telling us I'm able to make this. It also tells us the attributes. So you can see its traits, which is cultivation, summoner, and stringy. It also says the attack. Now, these traits actually mean something special for specific weapons, and they get better and better as time goes by. So I've now made my first one, but let me teach you a little bit more. If you are new to this, start with the tier 1 materials. Like we mentioned, that's going to be planks, cobblestone, string, and bones. On the right-hand side of this page, it shows you wood. So durability is 50, harvest tier is wood, mining speed is 2.5, attack, and the trait is cultivation. The next page we have is stone. So the durability obviously increases, and it has the trait summoner. And then we have bone, which has a trait of undead, and it also says durability. And we also have string. Now, don't panic about how they work and what you've got to do with them. Obviously, we have the combination of all of these, which is why we have cultivation, summoner, and stringy, for example. So again, stringy is coming from string. The undead is coming from bones. We didn't use the bone one in this one, for example, but we have summoner from the stone one. And we also have cultivation, which is coming from the wood. So if you are using different materials to make them, which we did, then obviously you're going to have different traits. You can use the bone one, for example. Obviously, in this case, we would go back to here and we would then type in bone, for example, and you'll see how the traits are different because bone, well, this is undead 1. Again, they start to make sense a little bit later on. Some of the starter weapons I gathered are pickaxes, axes, the stone shovel, which is the combination of a shovel and a hoe. We have a sword, we have a stone dagger, and we also have a cleaver. Now, one thing you are going to notice here is that my stone shovel, however you say that, at the bottom has a durability meter, which is really, really good. Keep an eye on the durability meter as you get better weapons. The same has also happened with the dagger and also the cleaver. And that is because you are going to need repair kits. Now, in terms of getting a repair kit, if you start off with the first one that I showed you in today's video, so if we were to grab ourselves this, for example, go inside of this one, you'll see we have ourselves a repair kit. But this one is going to cost you 4 at a time. I'll be honest, the tools that we've just made, they're not exactly exciting. Once you start using iron and the custom ingots in this mod, that's when things start to get better. But these tools are still better than the vanilla tools that Minecraft offers. Obviously, it explains in the book the likes of the pickaxe. It's not exactly amazing, but it gets the job done. The axe, it says this handy axe tackles wood and leaves, clearing paths and gathering resources. But if we go to the next one, the shovel, which is the combination of a shovel and a hoe. So this one, you can make a path, for example, really simple. But if you crouch and use it, as you can see here, it doubles up as a hoe. Towards the back of the book, it explains what the custom traits are for tier 1. Cultivation increases the chance of obtaining more items from crops when harvesting them. Basically, it's like fortune or looting. Summoner, stone and endstone have a rare chance to spawn silverfish and endermites respectively. Meanwhile, the undead trait, striking undead mobs like zombies and husks, transforms them into skeletons. Additionally, all defeated mobs now drop bones and bone meal. I've created myself a bone cleaver. Check this out. This one's super awesome. So when we kill these, I'm not sure what this one's going to drop, but this guy takes a little bit of time. He managed to drop not only bones, but also bone meal. And I can confirm if you kill yourself a spider, when you have this specific trait on, such as undead, yes, you will get bones. When it comes to repairing your tools, keep an eye on the durability. You're probably not going to worry too much about the stone-related things, but as I said later on, you probably will. In order to do this, hold your weapon, then switch to this, and then this will go into your offhand when you tap. Then tap on this, and you'll notice that it's actually fully repaired it, and your item has disappeared. You cannot place this inside of here at all. So I'll show you this one more time with a different tool. We'll do it with the hoe one. So we'll hold this. We'll then tap on this. It goes to the offhand. We'll tap on it again. It'll make a sound, and they will be repaired. Congratulations. If you understood what I've just shared with you so far, this is the basics to Tinkers Construct. Now it's time to move on to the more advanced stuff. On one of the final pages, there's going to be a recipe that you are going to need. You are going to need clay, gravel, and sand, and that will make grouts. Now, technically, you probably don't need this book right now. Like I said, it's going to be progression-based. So grab the needed materials. If we just put this inside of here, it's going to tell us what we can make anyway. So it's going to be grouts. We are going to make this item. Now, once you have grouts, you then need to grab yourself a book. Inside of the crafting table, place the book, place one of the grouts, and you will then get this book. And this is where we move on to the next stuff. So puny smelting. Once you've made yourself some grouts, you want to go ahead and place it inside of a furnace. Now, after doing this, you're going to end up with a brand new brick. This is called seared bricks. Now, there's a reason why it's teaching you about this, because as we go along, it starts to make a lot more sense. So this turns into this. You then have to turn the seared brick into seared cobblestone. In order to do that, you are also going to need yourself some regular bricks. So obviously there's a crafting recipe here, but this is what you make. So grab yourself this. You can interact with this, for example, to make more things. But as we go through this, you'll see here, the seared bricks and regular bricks makes cobblestone. Smelting cobblestone makes seared stone. Then you can then make seared glass, seared bricked, cracked versions. Then you can make seared paver. There's so many different options. And the reason behind understanding these is because it's time to make yourself a smelter. So all of the recipes that you have just learned is because it's time to make this. And you can see it's using the selected blocks. So you're going to need 3 of these, a furnace, and you're going to need 4 of these and the specific glass. So let's get this thing crafted, because this is where things do get really, really cool. Use the crafting recipe if you have any problems. It's just been the easiest thing for me. Now we can place this down. Now, by the way, while we've done this, if you have any problems with anything at all, if you go up to something like this, crouch, and hit it, you are actually able to remove it. You can't just do this like hitting it. That's not going to do anything at all. Once you've placed it, it's now time to fuel it up. You can put coal and charcoal inside of it, and also raw ores, the likes of iron, gold, etc. So go over to it and just fill it up very slowly, and you'll notice that this begins to fill up. Then tap on it with something like raw iron. You can see here, it's showing that we have fluid inside. At this point, you are going to need to extract this because this is like molten lava. And that can easily be done with a new type of bucket, but also a regular one. So if we were to make ourselves this, it's going to make something called an empty copper can, should we say. And obviously you can make yourself a bucket. If you do this, it's going to take them out one at a time. If you do it with, let's say, a bucket, it will take out the whole thing. So remember that. Obviously, buckets are still going to be better, but you can take this out with the copper versions as well, which I kind of like. Copper actually getting a use, to me, is a really cool addition. Once you've done that, it's now time to make ourselves a casting machine. So this is where you can mold the better weapons. This is all done with the searing bricks as well, and it's a very common recipe throughout the smelting process. So we'll grab all of these. Inside of this, the recipe is just going to be like this. Just like before, if you want to get rid of it, you just crouch, attack, click remove, and then obviously you can place this back down. I think it's important to understand this part. So once you have placed it down, we now need to craft ourselves a sand cast. You can do this by placing one piece of sand in a crafting table. Then you put the sand cast on the casting table by interacting with it. You craft a stone tool pot and then place it in the casting table with the sand cast using the interaction button. Now, once again, it does feel incredibly overwhelming right now. So for now, I'm just going to ignore that and show you how this works. Grab yourself either or of these, by the way. It works with the red. It works with regular. I'm going to use regular. Tap that on there. You then want to grab yourself. We're going to use a stone pickaxe head, for example. It can be any kind of stone related tool that you want. Place this inside. Now, obviously, before I showed you guys, it's time to get ourselves like the molten stuff, right? So we've already gathered this from this previous machine. You then want to go over to this and tap on this one more time. And you can see here, it's going to get rid of these stone parts, which it's done, and it's going to replace it. This one, as you can see now, is iron, and it's starting to get upgraded. Now, yes, it is a very, very slow process, but it's just a really cool design. I loved it. So place the red sand inside. We'll do it one more time. We'll place this inside of there. We'll get rid of it because the cast has now been molded, as you guys can see. We'll place that. After a few seconds, that's going to happen. The only thing you will lose, from my understanding, is going to be the sand. But it gets better because instead of using sand casts, you can use gold ones, which can be used as many times as you want. Instead of me showing you a giant wall of text, let me show you how this works. So make sure, obviously, that this is active. With this one, you're going to need gold, and you're also going to have to get yourself a bucket. Pick yourself a cast. We're going to go with the cleaver. Place down the cleaver, pick up the gold, and place this inside. Eventually, this is going to harden. Now, unfortunately, you will lose, for example, the cleaver, but this can be reused as many times as you want. Obviously, if you wanted to redo this with a different cast, because you can do this as many times as you want. Let's say we wanted to do ourselves, I don't know, we'll go with a pickaxe here again. Place that down. Grab ourselves the bucket of molten lava. Place it in here, and a brand new mold is going to be made. And honestly, this is absolutely genius. So these can be used as many times as we desire. What we are going to make now is going to be a casting basin. This recipe is very similar to what I've previously showed you, but it's in the alternative way. Kind of like a cauldron. Now, what this does is when we grab ourselves a bucket of the gold, the molten gold, as mentioned on this, if we were to place this inside of here, this is going to harden into a solid gold block, which you can take with you. It's not just gold, by the way. There are more blocks. This is just teaching you the very basics behind this before you go a lot more advanced, because I'm pretty sure we can put more ores inside of there. So if I was to grab myself, let's try some iron, for example, right? There's the iron. We need to wait for this to be super hot. I think you can do this one as well. So this one should convert into iron. There you go. So again, the book is just the guide to teach you the very, very basics. Again, when it says like block of gold, it can also be iron. I'm guessing diamonds and netherite as well. Although I'm going to go to /game mode creative here. I actually haven't messed around too much other than the basics behind this, but can we do this? So diamonds themselves can't go in there, but I'm telling you, because you can get yourself molten buckets, that you can do this. There's a lot more that I still need to learn behind this as well. So yeah, I'm just teaching you the basics. Another smelter you're able to make is the alloy crafter. Here is the recipe using searing bricks, using a crafting table, and also a furnace. And it's going to be this one right here. And this is going to show you a whole bunch of recipes. Again, these are so new to me. So you can make raw amethyst bronze with raw copper and amethyst shards. You can make hep artisan blend with all of these. You're gonna need cobalt. Again, later on it makes more sense. There's just so many things to learn. I promise you, I'm still trying to learn these as well. So for example, we now have iron tools. So obviously iron tools are a little bit more advanced, and we have the magnetic effect, which I think towards the end it explains what magnetic does. So magnetic creates a magnet field that attracts materials. You've got speed, channels a rush of energy, granting heightened speed when wielding. Tasty, when used, grants high saturation for extended periods. And then experienced increases the amount of experience you get when defeating mobs. And then we've got different ores here. So our blocks, so we've got iron, gold. This one right here is called, I think it's, hold on, let's go back real quick. Pig iron, and then we've got rose gold. So many cool materials. Just for reference, the iron one gives us magnetic. Meanwhile, if we were to make ourselves, let's say, the gold one, this one's going to give us speed and stringy. I haven't messed around with these ones yet, but these also give you different kinds of traits. So this one is magnetic, tasty, and stringy. And then this one is the rose gold, which, let's just make ourselves a cheeky little dagger here. This one's going to be experienced 1. When you're wielding something that does have speed 1, you can see here that I end up with some special effects. This one, I haven't actually figured this one out yet, but apparently this one's a magnet. That went instantly to my inventory there. So let's try this again. Hold on, let's try this. If I was to break this, for example, yeah, they instantly teleport inside of my inventory. Oh, that's actually really cool. Because I've been trying to figure out a whole bunch of these. Rather than showing you guys what each weapon can do, I've been basically exploring how they work. Once again, if you made it this far, you've now completed the smelting process. You don't need this book. Well, you do, because it's now time to make ourselves the mighty smelting. And this is done with a seared brick and a regular book like this. And then we move on to the next recipes. So let me teach you this one. Mighty smelting. It says, intrigued by your resourcefulness or perhaps sheer luck. It seems I underestimated you. Let's push those limits further and elevate your melter and those common metals to extraordinary strengths. Prepare yourself, fellow tinkerer, because things are about to get very technical very quickly. Alrighty, tinkerer extraordinaire. Time to ditch that starter kit and forge the legendary Tinker's Anvil. Imagine crafting weapons so epic they could fell a dragon and armor tougher than a troll's hide. Sounds pretty sweet, right? But be warned, this anvil demands the finest materials. Only the truly worthy can wield its power. First on the agenda is to make ourselves a Tinker's Anvil, and this is done with iron blocks. So you need to grab these. Hold on, what's the recipe for this here? Okay, so this needs to go like this, and then they go along the top, and then you end up with a new type of anvil. Inside of here, this is where you make the better things. You can start making chest plates and leggings and even better swords. So everything I've been teaching you so far has literally led you to this point, and this is where things get so much stronger. And this add-on is going to be continuously updated as time goes by. So more things are going to be introduced, but you can kind of see how much power a lot of these have. Before we do advanced, a lot of you guys will be wondering how to get your hands on the new types of ores. So let's just skip ahead a little bit, because this is explained later on in the book. It says here, the Nether. Braving the fiery depths of the Nether, prepare to unearth some truly unique treasures. Here's the lowdown on 2 new ores exclusive to this infernal dimension. Ardite and cobalt. These rare gems are closely associated with piglin settlements. Keep an eye out for them while exploring nether wastes near piglin activity. Unlike most ores, Ardite and cobalt can also spontaneously appear in previously explored areas. So for those worrying about pre-existing worlds, not a problem, it can reappear. Hunting for treasure in the nether, keep an eye out for Ardite and cobalt ores poking out of the netherrack. These shiny surprises are uncommon, so watch closely. Time to do the Smeltery controller. In order to do this, you are going to need to grab yourself molten copper buckets and a seared brick. Place the brick inside of there with the molten copper buckets, and a new type of machine will then be available. This is the Smeltery controller. Once you've made the Smeltery controller, you are then going to have to make yourself two more things, being the seared tank and the seared drain, which is these two right here. I'm not going to go through the recipes. They're really easy to understand. Now comes quite the tricky part, because a lot of people get confused with this, but I'm going to show you how to build the Smeltery. First thing is first, place this down. An outline will pop up telling you a guide. Dig down one behind it and place it like this, 3 by 3. On the left-hand side, place down the seared tank. On the right-hand side, place down the drain. You then want to go ahead and do another layer around here, placing down, which does have to be the seared bricks. It can be some other blocks later on, as the book does explain, but once you've got that, you're still doing good. Now it's time to build this a little bit higher. So just keep building this all the way around. As you guys can see here, once we do one more layer, the red outlines are actually going to disappear. So once we do this, after a certain amount of time, everything has disappeared and you built this successfully. You then need to grab yourself some lava, and on this side, fill it up. You're going to need a couple of these. On the right-hand side, you can go ahead and place down, in the middle, you can go ahead and place down some of your ingots to fill this thing up. And you'll have this in the middle. Once this has cooked for a certain amount of time, on the right-hand side, you can tap on this and you can actually drain it with a bucket. So we're going to have to fill this up a little bit more here. I don't know how big we can fill this up. You can see here my lava is going down, so we can take this out. And then you'll end up with molten iron buckets. This can be gold, diamond, etc. There is also a blazing lava, and this can be obtained by getting yourself a blaze head. Remember, we do have mob drops on this. This has to be done with a cleaver. In order to do this, grab yourself a blaze head and a regular lava bucket. Place this inside and then place this on top. And you are going to end up with even stronger lava, which is the blazing lava, which I think this is going to be so much hotter and so much quicker inside of the Smeltery. To make the best of the best weapons, you need to get these needed materials. But I'm gonna let you guys figure that out on your own. You all know how to get yourself some netherite. The alloy crafter will teach you some things, but not everything, and doesn't actually tell you how these work. In case you were wondering about the anvils, I believe they all offer the exact same thing. They just look different in design. But once you have made the selected tools or made yourself specific armors, you can use the smithing table to upgrade them and use trimming templates. So if you wanted to make yourself rose gold as an armor, which we've just done right there, dude, it looks so cool. Yeah, so all of the armor are completely customizable. And if you have yourself likes of a diamond cleaver, yes, you can upgrade this to the likes of netherite. This is by far the best add-on we've checked out on the Minecraft marketplace. There is so much content involved. I haven't even had the ability to show you all of the content. Trust me, you guys will spend hours upon hours messing around with this, with many more updates to come. One more thing I will say is there is another guide here, and that guide is going to be for your gadgets. Now, for example, I'll show you a very quick one here. If you break some, let's say some of these, for example, you can end up with an earth slime bean. If you place this down, it's going to ask you, do you want to place it down? You say yes. It's going to create like a new type of biome where new things can spawn. You can get your hands on other things. So this is obviously generated slimes, which you're going to need later on. This is a new sapling, new types of wood. We've also got other things inside of here. Like, I'm letting you guys go and do some exploring. You've got the Terracube bean, which is hidden in mosses. You've got Sky Slime, Scarlet Slimes, Ender Slimes. So, yeah, I wonder if you can use... Hold on 1 second. If we grab ourselves Ender, which is this one, I think this says it has to be placed down on end. So if we grab ourselves some end blocks real quick. Hold on. We'll put these down. I just want to see if this is going to work. Place that down there. Hit yes. Yes, it is going to generate a new biome. So, obviously, you're going to have to go to specific dimensions. Or you could go ahead and bring this to the overworld. There are slingshots you're able to mess around with. You have this, which explodes on impact. We have these, which are ninja stars. As you can see here, instantly destroying slimes. Glow balls. Guessing these are going to be for, like, nighttime. There's just so many incredible things, guys. I hope I've done good explaining how this add-on works. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments section. Any problems, just leave a comment. If this is a popular video, I'll start doing some breakdown videos on how to use this add-on in a little bit more detail. Have a wonderful day.